Good afternoon. It is Tuesday, April 21st, 2026. One of the comments that was made about Jesus is that he did not teach like the other rabbis did. The other rabbis quoted each other and quoted long gone rabbis, and they confounded each other and they asked questions. Well, Jesus didn't do that. He never quoted one of the ancient rabbis unless it was to counteract what they were saying. He took ordinary, everyday items and made lessons out of them. They'd been questioning his disciples and the disciples' refusal to fast and why the disciples ate with sinners. Well, Jesus uses two illustrations to help them understand that God was doing something new. In Luke chapter 5, verses 36 to 38, and I'm reading from the New Living Translation, second edition, says, "Then Jesus gave them this illustration. No one tears a piece of cloth from a new garment and uses it to patch an old garment. For then the new garment would be ruined, and the new patch wouldn't even match the old garment. And no one puts new wine into old wineskins, for the new wine would burst the wineskins, spilling the wine and ruining the skins. New wine must be stored in new wineskins." Simple, everyday things that they all understood. It was rare that they got new clothes, but if they got a new garment, a new robe, or a new tunic, the last thing they do is immediately cut a hole in it to make a patch for an old tunic or an old garment. And then it doesn't work because the new cloth is going to shrink and it's going to pull out from the patch it just made. And you end up with two damaged garments. No, if you've got a new garment, you protect it and care for it and try and make it last as long as possible. And it's the old garments you cut up to make patches for. Then he mentioned wineskins. Now, wineskins were sheep or goat skins where they turn them inside out and tie a knot at the leg holes and sew up the other holes and put wine in them, and the wine would ferment in them. Well, after a while, the wineskins get old and get brittle. Like ceramic, if you drop it, it'll break. But when they're new and flexible, they can handle the fermentation of the wine. And the wine ferments, the volume changes a little bit, and the new wineskin can absorb and stretch a little bit and handle the flexibility necessary for the fermentation to occur inside of it. But the old brittle ones can't. And you put new wine into old wineskins, and that brittle old skin's going to break. And it's going to spill everything. You're going to be a mess. Like the one time the kid tried to put a soda in the freezer so it'll cool off quicker, and he goes back a couple hours later and he got a mess all over the freezer when that bottle exploded. With Jesus, God is doing a new thing. He's bringing a new covenant in his blood. And it's not going to look like the old covenant. The old covenant they were familiar with. It was the covenant given to Abraham and to Moses and reinforced with David. And now they're doing a new covenant in Jesus Christ. May you and I enjoy the new covenant of forgiveness and salvation through Jesus Christ by believing in his death, burial, and resurrection and finding new life and forgiveness in him. God bless you.